Hello? How did you get this number? Don't you know he's listening? The 13. He's here.
You have entered the 13, a place where real stories about music, touring, and the beyond are told. Music does something to us. We all experience it in our own way. It can affect our senses, transport us through time, and release emotions. On this podcast, we will talk with people about the power of music and the beyond. What does the beyond mean? Let's find out together. Turn on your metronomes because this time is about to be tracked. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the 13. I'm your host, Ryan 13. And today on the podcast, we have Jesse White returning for another episode. This is season 3, and he's the first guest on season 3. And I'm so excited and honored to have you on, my friend. I was just listening to some of your songs before we started, as we were kind of talking about before we hit the record button. And dude, like I'm literally, I wrote this down. I want to read what I wrote down. You are bringing all of my favorite genres together. No one is doing this.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm listening to Jerry Cantrell, and then I'm listening to Black Sabbath, and then I'm listening to heavy metal, and then I'm listening to blah, oh my God, he did the blah,
Dude, the vomit.
This is some cool, the shit you're doing in these songs. And I don't know if we can share them on this episode, if it's just a privilege I got. But I could if you wanted, or if not,
I
we'll
mean,
wait
they're
and I'll
just
post
demos,
links.
man. But I mean, you can hear every instrument, right? It sounds listenable, right? So why not start getting the word out there? The plan is we're gonna go back. I just got a drummer. That's all drum programming, right?
Right.
I did all that.
You're a fucking badass at that, dude.
Not really, man. Like I got Easy Drummer, and I bought the MIDI packs, and I just copy and like drag and drop them into the edit timeline and Pro Tools.
It sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I did the EQ, man, but it's it's like Jimmy Page, he just copped a bunch of old black blues player lyrics, and that's what I'm doing for like mixing. I'm like, oh, that guy just boosts 50 hertz on the kick and he boosts 100 on the bass, or vice versa, and I'll just do that for these mixes and they sound great. And anyone can do it. If I can do it, anyone can.
Well, you're gonna have to show me, because growing up, Doug Pennick from King's X, name drop. Anyway, like he gave me the a drum machine from 1989.
Oh wow! It was like an Akai drum machine or something like that.
It wasn't an Akai. I got an Akai thing sitting right here, but I don't think it was Akai at the time. It was just like this weird thing, and it almost looked like the Chaos Pad, except there was no lights behind it. It was just flat black pads.
What a cool name for it, though. Chaos Pad.
Chaos Pad. And it just had like these, like, okay, this pad is the snare. This pad is the one tom. This pad is the other tom. And it was so fucking hard to program. I was never able to do drums. And so that's why I wrote you the other, or I guess it's been a couple of weeks now. And I was like, dude, you're so good at fucking doing drums.
I'll do a video recording and show you what I do. It's so easy, bro. And it's so fun. Like I can sit here, come up with a riff. Okay, I'll just tap it out like 180 BPMs and I'll just find a drum beat automatically synced up to 180 and start jamming out. That's how I write music. Yeah.
Dude, that's so fantastic. Okay.
It's fun.
So we're going to jump into, and I swear I'm going to butcher this. I even hear you sing it in the song.
Yeah.
But I can't say it. I don't know if it's because it's Saturday and my brain is dead or what, but enigment. I see, I can't say it. So you know what I'm trying to say?
Dude, I had trouble saying it for like 3 or 4 weeks too, man. Enigmatic. It's like enigma, right?
Right.
But like in the adjective form. Enigmatic. And it's talking about the ocean. I don't like, my bass player Sebastian pointed this out to me. He says he hates it whenever he tells people what the lyrics are about, because then you and everyone else think that they don't have their own.
Yeah, can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Dude, so the word, thank you for saying it. All I wrote here is Riff City, Jerry Cantrell vibes.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Right on.
Dude, It was so cool. Like the riff is fucking retarded, y'all. I mean, y'all got to hear this shit.
It's been 9 days since the storm. No trace found of her. Beginning to wonder if she was left alone to face her fear. Some remnants have been found, just strips of gown. Beginning to lose all hope I'll ever see her face again.
And then you
Yeah.
got Jesse coming in singing for like some of the first times I've ever heard you sing, because every time everything else has been screaming, but if you can
Yeah.
scream, you can fucking sing.
Right.
And you are proving that to be the case. You know, just like everybody else has.
Yeah.
You've got a great voice. You're doing some
Thank
great
you.
stuff. You're getting harmonies going. Like this stuff is fucking ripping, dude. And I'm like,
Thank you.
I'm sitting here going, I just want to play with this guy. Like, I just want to sit down and fucking, I don't even care if we record anything. I just want to fucking have fun because your brain
We
is
will.
on the same plane.
Oh, we're
as
on
you.
the spectrum, bro. There's no other explanation why. Like, it's amazing, like the phenomena of like pulling something out of nothing in this cosmos within our skull, and then putting it down, and then you get music, or you get this canvas, or you get this like dragon out of a bush that you
Yeah.
like. Did you ever see that old man? It took him like 15 years, and it's a
Yes.
huge shrubbery, and it's a huge
Yeah.
like winding dragon, like
Yeah.
all up here. You
Yeah,
know?
I have seen that. He had a vision and he made it happen, dude.
Yeah.
That's
it's a-
that's where I'm at in life too. I have a vision. I'm trying to make it happen, and you obviously are doing the same thing.
Thank you.
So let's talk about Ravens Flight.
Yeah, what'd you think about that one?
So it starts, dude. This is why, man. I wish we grew up at the same time. We're only about 10 years apart, but like my band Grimoire in the 90s, early 2000s made songs like that. That was like
Oh, yeah?
that was our bag, and it was because of our guitar player Danny, God rest his soul. But like that dude would write those riffs that like the riffs that start out in that where it's just beautiful, and you got all
Yeah.
this stuff going and you're singing all, and then all of a sudden the fucking metal
Oh,
comes.
the thunder.
The raven's wings take flight, sending earth tonight. The sun has lost her day. She keeps on flying, death delighted, keeps on flying away. Black wings perch locked with your eyes, dead delighted, and so am I. Never thought twice, never disbelieving you'd come crawling back to me.
Dark, beautiful, and the riff. Then I write Black Sabbath ? Because I hear the Black
Yeah.
Sabbath stuff happening, and
Yeah,
then,
literally the title song, Black Sabbath. Like that whole tritone. Down,
yeah.
down.
and then when you go to the solo, are you doing triplets in the background for the the
Yeah,
rhythm.
for the underneath the solo. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah, my favorite. That's the only thing
Yeah.
I'm good at. is kick- Yeah. I was like, that's like the one thing I'm like, I can do those. But like that's
Well,
it.
it's funny, like I spent the past 3 years pretty much playing black and death metal and really studying
Right.
that, like the whole dissection, Behemoth, Immortal, and all of that. And so, like, a lot of my focus went to the dark side of like music, so to speak, right? And so with that under riff, I was thinking like Behemoth because it's in that harmonic minor, one or 0 1 4, but
Yeah.
doing like thick ass chords,
Fuck
power
yeah.
chords. Yeah, so it has that kind of Behemoth vibe, but yet it's a waltz for one, and
Oh
then it's
shit.
clean vocals. Yeah, it's 1 2 3 1 2 3. So it's
I didn't even think about that. That's cool.
yeah. Well, the drummer, he says like the beginning is 3 4, but then it goes into 6 8, which makes it a straight time, which I'm not that like knowledgeable about that
Sure.
yet. Yeah.
No, I'm not either. As
Yeah.
you know, I worked for King's X forever, and you're like
Mhm.
watching them play whatever song, Pleiades or whatever song it is, and you're like, that can't be 4/4, and then all of a sudden
Right.
but it is. They're like, no, the whole way through, it's
Man,
4/4.
Bobby Landgraf hit me on to Soundgarden being a progressive band. I had no clue that Soundgarden was sometimes 4/4, but most of the time they're doing like 12 something. And,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that Chris Cornell was a drummer, and then they were like looking for a singer, and then right at the last minute before they were like looking for singers, well, I can sing, and it was Chris Cornell.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like I was watching some stuff about their early. Well, I wasn't watching. I guess I was reading, but I saw photos of them just like Nirvana, early days, Seattle or wherever they were happened to be, like at some small record, vinyl store,
Mhm.
playing a show, and Chris was singing, and like, man, that's crazy. I had no idea he was a drummer. I'm like, oh yeah, I
A
guess I
very
could do
good
that.
drummer too, man. Like Chop Times, like the whole Soundgarden vibe. He can do that on drums, dude.
Dude. See, and that's like Foo Fighters, obviously.
Mhm.
Dave, Nirvana. No, but and
Mhm.
like like I told my wife, I was like, yeah, he used to play drums for Nirvana, and she's like, what?
Mhm.
Like,
I
yeah,
knew
he's
about
a
Foo
badass.
Fighters first because I was born in '93, so like radio, Nirvana, everyone's heard those songs, a million times. But later, I was more familiar with the Foo Fighters, and then I'm like, oh shit, David Grohl came from Nirvana.
Right?
Wow,
Yeah.
as a drummer.
And for me, like I had Kurt Cobain on my wall, and then it was a poster of Nirvana, and then all of a sudden it was a memorial poster of Kurt
Mhm.
Cobain because
Mhm.
whatever,
Yeah,
suicide
yeah,
and
yeah.
shit.
Raven's
Leper.
Flight is my Raven's Flight. Before we move on, I gotta say
Sure.
Raven's Flight is my favorite to sing and play at the same time. It's like I said with the waltz, you kind of move to it. But anyways, like man, Raven's Flight, when I wrote it, and every time I sing it at practice, like to myself, just it feels really good.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I know that's like, vague, but it's just out of all the songs, that's the one that feels like the most anthem. Like I can
Yeah.
see this being played in an amphitheater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I love it. It's a beginning. I can see it being played in an amphitheater. Like the beginning is like, you're telling a story when you're writing these
Yeah.
songs. You're telling the story, and like you can all of a sudden now you're immersed in this world, and you're
Yeah.
telling the story. So now all of a sudden, everyone in the audience, in a huge audience, could be feeling this
Right.
and be like,
Singable.
yeah, everyone could be on the same page. Yeah, fuck
Smoking
yeah.
weed.
The riff.
Yeah, dude.
Like, dude, like it
With
just
the
comes.
pause. See, that's the thing. It like Dissection, fucking the last record, Ran Chaos. There's so many chokes and there's like little spaces of silence all over that record. The chokes. Dun 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 dun, and then a choke. Dun 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 dun. It's tight.
Yes.
And so I brought that to this band too, and that's the thing with that riff when it comes in. Dun 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 dun. Then
Yeah.
that space is just like whoa, like you're pulled into it, man. It's
That's true,
magnetic.
dude. Well,
Yeah.
and it's really good riff writing. So like,
Yeah, thank you.
first of all, you have an amazing riff, and then you're stopping,
Mhm.
and everyone's like, wait, hold on, what? Oh shit, it's back. You know, like
Now
it's,
imagine that with a 10,000 watts on stage, you
Right,
know?
yeah.
God, feeling that air move, man.
dude, I love it. What's the new band called? You told me the other day.
Undamned. So it's a double
Undamned.
meaning. It's like freeing a river or escaping damnation or being freed from damnation. So it's
I love-
freedom.
I love,
basically.
dude, I love and seeing you put thought into everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, man, you might explode if you enter my skull for 5 minutes. Like, I'm always like, there's something going on in here.
I love it, dude. I fucking love it.
Thanks, man.
Let's talk about we only got a few minutes here before you got to bolt. So let's talk about Leper of the Marsh.
Leper of the Mars, children far away. Leper of the Mars, I'll never see the face.
Again, I wrote underneath it riffs for days with 3 exclamation points. I mean,
Lots
dude,
of
you're the
riffs,
riff.
dude.
You're my favorite riff guy now. Like,
Thank
I
you.
need to pick your brain. So, like, what
Okay.
was the inspiration for this?
I
And
like
where
the
did you get the riffs?
dissonance. I like the
Okay.
dissonance of black metal. I like the dissonance that Mastodon brings into their songwriting. Because the core, I'm very bored of rock bands nowadays. It seems like from the late '90s and on, like bands just started playing 145 and
Yep.
like pop rock, and it's all power chords. There's no like Opeth. You get all these fucking weird
Yeah.
augmented seventh chords and
yeah.
even in country music you get all the seventh chords and gypsy music, everything except rock music. So the last thing that I wanted to do is to be a band that just sticks to power chords, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Sure.
Because it sounds so bland, man. Everyone and their mom can do it and is doing it. So I wanted
Absolutely.
to set myself apart. So with that first riff, it has it's going an A sharp. It's going from 5 to 6, and you're letting that A string ring. So you're getting that dissonance right there. Try it when you pick up your guitar next time, dude. And you get this dissonance, man. And so I try to carry that throughout each and every song that I write too, because it's the black and white of the yin yang. You know what I mean? It's
Right,
tension
absolutely.
and resolution. So
Yeah, dissonance was my favorite thing growing up. We would, I mean, growing up as a guitar player, we
yeah,
would always talk about the devil's chord and
yeah,
doing that
tritone.
weird just
Yeah.
making like the nastiest thing. Like, how do you make that work in a song? Well, this is
Mhm.
how, and you just do it.
Oh, hell
And,
yeah.
oh yeah. So in Leper of the Marsh, like I wrote down Houston vibes, and I think the Houston
Okay.
vibes thing is because of the way you're singing in it. There was a band that was around probably the time you were born, and I can't. And this sucks that I can't say their name, and it sucks I can't call my cousin up because he's dead. But like he was the one
Cheers to
who,
your cousin.
yeah, he was the one who introduced me to this band, and they were Houston band,
Mhm.
and they were doing some of the, at least vocally, the stuff that you were doing in this, and I was like, first of all, Jesse not only is singing, but he's singing a huge range of different shit, and like you're literally just okay. I did that on this song. Now I'm going to do this on this song, and you're not sticking to one thing. And I think that that's really fantastic. And the fact that it made me feel like, oh, dude, this is Houston vibes. You know,
Yeah.
you're from the Beaumont area,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Yep.
it's like it's kind of close. I mean, 2 hours, whatever.
Born in the same hospital as Janis Joplin.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Port
wow.
Arthur. Yep. Some
Port
of that musical
Arthur, man.
juju rubbed off on me. I swear,
It's
dude. Some of
true,
that
dude.
gumbo juice.
Some of the we could go down that road, and we're gonna
That's
slow
right.
down.
That's right.
All right, so let's get to Withered. Withered is a monster. I wrote great vocals, and then I wrote blah.
Sebastian, the bass player, he's a way better singer than might ever be. Like, he's really good. I've only started singing since November, right? And he's been singing for years and years. But he's just like, he was telling me the other day, he was just like, you're singing and it's pretty, and you're using all these Egyptian scales, like the Eastern Phrygian
Yeah.
mode. And the harmonic minor. I try to use those a lot because, again, that separates me from everyone else that's making rock music now for the most part.
Sure.
And he goes, but then you go from all that to just bleh, like a literal dry heave vomit.
Yeah. It's fucking fantastic. Those are my favorite things. And
Yeah.
like the guy who invented it, I can't remember or invented it. The guy
Chuck
that,
Berry, maybe?
it's it should be Chuck Berry. But
Yeah.
like some of the people who like there's an argument in the scene about who did it first or whatever, did the bleh. But
Uh-huh.
like the I don't know where I'm going with this really. It's mostly just like that's the most fantastic way to take you out of what's happening, but also bring you into what's about to happen.
Yeah.
And it's just so you're doing your thing, bleh, and then the riff gets heavier.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
holy fuck.
Yeah,
This is so
dude.
cool, man. I really
Yeah.
love this new music that you've been sending me, and thank you
Thank
for
you.
sending it to me.
Yeah.
And everyone who's watching, I'm going to drop just a little pieces of this either throughout the episode or in the end, and it's all demos.
Mhm.
And so get ready for the fucking album. It's coming
right.
soon. This has
right.
been Jesse White, my favorite fucking person to talk to.
That's right.
And dude, I'm so glad you came on the show. I know you got places to go, and I hope you come on again, maybe even this season, and we can talk
I'm
for a
down.
little bit longer.
If you want to do it in a few weeks, man, I'm down. It's just yeah. I forgot the whole time zone thing.
Me
you
too,
know?
dude. Me too. I forgot like that you were in you're on East Coast time.
East. Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yep.
I feel like I guess you are straight up and a little over.
But a little bit over. Yeah, I think it's somewhere in the middle of Illinois is where it like
Yeah.
switches, and like the edge far west edge of Kentucky is where it switches.
well, that's
but-
cool.
Yeah, man, I'm more than happy to come on yet again, man. I love talking to you, dude.
I love talking to you too, man. And dude, it's been a blast. Thank you for the songs. I'm gonna
Yeah.
actually, as soon as we're done, I'm gonna listen to them again because they're fantastic.
Fuck yeah, thanks, man.
Everybody, this has been Jesse White. Thank you for listening to the 13 or watching the 13, and we'll see you all on the next one.
That's fucking right.